Okay. Let me ask you this: with everything that's gone on, and all the events of the last 4 or 5 days, in your professional opinion, and obviously we don't know everything yet, but what do you think are the chances that Keefe D gets convicted of the crime?
I think they're pretty strong. It's a very interesting legal quagmire that he's got himself in. It's an interesting case where, and I've mentioned this before, the star witness in in your own homicide case is you. You know, the star witness against the defendant is the defendant. Um, so it's going to be really interesting because Keefe D's out there. He's continuously boasted about his role in the murder. And, so if he pleads not guilty, this is an interesting question. If he pleads not guilty, isn't he inferring that he lied during the proffer session then? Because if he's saying I didn't do it, and in the proffer session he's saying I did do it, well, he's now violated the conditions of the proffer session by lying about it. So he's in a real catch-22. I think I read a Rolling Stone article today, and that's what they called it, the catch-22. So it's really interesting. I think he'll plead not guilty. He'll get a public defender. They'll try to figure out what they can do with the situation. But down the road, I think when he's facing trial, he's going to probably try to plead out a lesser charge, maybe second-degree murder, with the hopes of seeing the light of day again.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that he's going to plead not guilty to try to see what kind of deal he can get, but we'll see. You talked about him doing all these, doing the book, doing all these interviews. He did BET, he did YouTube channels. In your personal opinion, like not professional, but personal opinion, why do you feel like he felt comfortable enough to continue to speak and brag and joke and boast about, being a part of this murder?
Well, clearly he is very ignorant of the situation regarding his proffer agreement. It appears that maybe he was under the false pretense that he had immunity, but there was never a reason to believe that. It was very clear that he was only provided protection from his own statements within the law enforcement interviews. I think people were probably telling him, hey, you need to shut it down. You need to shut up. But if you know Keefe D, he can't. When he's given an opportunity to boast about himself, he's going to take it. He's extremely narcissistic, extremely arrogant, and he's a legend in his own mind. I mean, look at the title of his book, Street Legend. But really? And so I think this is where ignorance and arrogance collided, and it was his own undoing.
Do you think it was the ego and him being a narcissist, or do you feel like it was the money that he was getting paid? I don't know about the BET thing, but I know for sure he would get paid from the YouTube interviews. Do you feel like that had a factor in it, or no?
I mean, I'm not sure that it's that kind of money. It's not life-changing money that you'd risk your future for. I don't know. I'm sure he probably could use the money. I don't think he was necessarily, you got to remember at one time Keefe D was making money hand over fist. I mean, he's just blowing kilos out of the water, man. And so he was accustomed to having a lot of money. And when you have a lot of money and then you don't have money, you try to do everything you can to get money. So, yeah, I don't know if the money was a real motive, but only, maybe he could answer that question when he goes to trial, if he goes to trial.